Every week this season, more and more rumors and leaks have come about insinuating that there could be a ton of big-name players on the move at some point in this NBA season. As we creep closer and closer to the trade deadline, these rumors are only going to continue to heat up, and with that comes more and more hypotheticals proposed by the media. As we do regularly here on this channel, today we'll be analyzing an article posted by national media outlet Bleacher Report, where they proposed 4 potential blockbuster deals that, in their eyes, could blow up the trade deadline this season. As always, we'll be going over each of these proposals, discussing the pros and cons of each one, who the trade benefits the most, why or why not it would happen, and if it's even in the realm of possibility. If you want to read the actual article itself, that will be linked down in the description of this video. Before we start though, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. PrizePicks is the perfect service for all of us basketball fans because when you're involved, it makes watching games every night so much more fun and engaging. Basically, it's an application that provides you with lines on all kinds of individual player props, such as points, rebounds, and assists, and you simply have to choose whether you believe they will record over the set amount in the line or under the set amount in the line. Make your selections, wager however much you want to, and if your picks hit, you can win big money. It's important to sign up as soon as possible because PrizePicks is running a Christmas time promotion where all day on Christmas Eve, Julius Randle's points total will be set at over or under 0.5 points, and all day on Christmas Day, up until the Lakers tip off, the same 0.5 points line will be set for LeBron James. Basically, the deal is giving you free money to celebrate the holiday festivities, so you won't want to miss out on it. If this sounds at all intriguing to you, then go use the link in the description of this video to sign up today and use promo code REFERENCE to receive a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. Again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into the video at hand. The first trade proposed in the article is between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers, and in it the Celtics received Domantas Sabonis in exchange for Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Romeo Langford, and a 2022 first-round pick that's top 5 protected. The Pacers have finally cracked after it became apparent that their future foresaw a lot more mediocrity, and reports are now claiming that they are willing to scour the trade market, potentially selling some of their best players. Sabonis could very well be one of the best players available on the trade market right now, and honestly, he would be a perfect fit on the Celtics in theory. He's a clear upgrade over Al Horford and Robert Williams. Offensively, he's a player you can rely on to score 20 a night with his dominance around the post and his ability to create with his face-up game. He's one of the better passing big men in the league, which could help set up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for easier opportunities while seeing fewer double teams, and it could propel the Celtics back into contention in the East. The issue here, though, is the price the Celtics would have to pay for him. Marcus Smart brings tremendous defensive impact, but has always been a pretty streaky and inconsistent shooter on offense, and if the Pacers shift towards focusing on their future, I'm not quite sure Grant Williams and Romeo Langford are good enough young players to justify a trade like this. The first-round pick does help, although it would be better if it was unprotected, and ultimately, I don't think this exact deal quite matches up to what the Pacers would expect back for Sabonis in terms of value. The Celtics are a team that would make sense to try to target Sabonis. They'll just have to give up a bit more if they actually want him. The next proposed trade is between the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons, and in it the Bulls receive Jeremy Grant in exchange for Kobe White, Derrick Jones Jr., Tony Bradley, and a 2022 first-round pick that's lottery protected. Ever since second-year forward Patrick Williams suffered his wrist injury for the Bulls that will hold him out for a while, the team has had a hole to fill at their 4 spot. Javonte Green has done well filling in that void, and Derrick Jones Jr. is a solid defensive player off the bench for them at that position as well, but there's obviously room for improvement with how well the Bulls are playing as a team, and they're probably going to start thinking about making another win-now move to solidify themselves as contenders. Enter Jeremy Grant, who has also found himself on the trade block as the Pistons realize that, despite how much he has improved since signing with them, he doesn't really fit their time timetable, and it would be better for both parties to send him to a contender in exchange for more assets. Grant not only provides the Bulls with terrific, versatile defense to fit into their scheme, but he gives them yet another scoring threat alongside DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic. A starting five of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Jeremy Grant, and Nikola Vucevic may need some time to gel together, but on paper, that's one of the best lineups in the whole league. Now, for the Pistons side of the trade, Coby White I like as someone to take a flyer on because he has shown potential to develop into someone who can provide instant offense off the bench. He's just not very likely to get that opportunity with Chicago anymore, as they are in win-now mode and don't have the patience for his slow development. Again, as does tend to be a theme in these videos, the rest of the value for these stars don't quite match the price tag. Jones Jr. and Bradley are good pieces that don't really move the needle for Detroit, and the first-round pick is coming from Portland, so the lottery protection that's on it would hamper its value even further. The Bulls need to ease up on the protections and maybe even throw another pick into the deal, but it's at least a good starting point for an offer. The next trade proposed in the article is between the New York Knicks and the Sacramento Kings, and in it the Knicks receive De'Aaron Fox in exchange for Obi Toppin, Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, a 2022 first-round pick that's top 3 protected, a 2023 first-round pick from the Mavericks, and a 2022 second-round pick. After a hot start to the season, the Knicks' year is quickly crumbling, and they will need to find a resolution as soon as possible if they want to right the ship and get back into the playoff picture. Simultaneously, the Kings are stuck in the same spot that they've been in for years now, not looking like the kind of team that can realistically break into the playoffs. De'Aaron Fox began to show some signs of frustration with the situation recently, exclaiming in a post-game interview that he's never experienced losing like this before in his life, and if he continues to be disgruntled, there's no telling whether a trade request may come. Plus, with how well Tyrese Halliburton has been performing, taking over the point guard spot while Fox has been out, the team has actually started to come around, according to some reports, on the idea of moving Fox and exploring a trade. The Knicks, meanwhile, have been searching for a point guard to solidify their lineup for years, and the Kemba Walker experiment didn't exactly work out for them, so the search is still on. With all of this working together, it honestly isn't that bad of a deal. It's not perfect, and the Kings would probably ask for a bit more to sweeten it up for their franchise point guard, but it's not ridiculously far off either. Toppin is taking strides forward after a turbulent rookie season, Alec Burks is a very solid scoring threat off the bench for any team, Kemba Walker isn't exactly the enticing player he used to be, but can still provide shot creation in short bursts, and the draft capital included in the form of 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick is pretty reasonable, all things considered. And finally, the last trade proposed from the article is a 3-team deal between the 76ers, Pacers, and Trailblazers, and because there's a lot going on here, I'll just allow you to read the full details on the screen. Immediately, the first thing that needs to be said is that there's not a chance in hell that Daryl Morey accepts this kind of package for the Sixers, because it goes against everything that has delayed a Ben Simmons deal from happening yet. Time and time again, Morey has made it clear that he isn't interested in trading Simmons for non-top 25 players, and the proposed deal sends back some objectively good role players that do provide the kind of skill sets that could be beneficial to the team, but ultimately they come up short of the expected value on return. Caris LeVert might be one of the most overrated players in the league because he seems to be viewed by the general public as borderline all-star talent that can develop despite being 27 years old and every year scoring pretty inefficiently, all things considered. And while Norman Powell is definitely a good addition to the deal as someone who is scoring 18 points per game and shooting over 40% from 3, I just don't think it's realistic to see a trade involving all of Ben Simmons, Miles Turner, and CJ McCollum without any of the biggest names involved in the deal returning to Philadelphia, seeing as they're the team looking for the most big-name return. The Trailblazers come out of this trade the best, and I'm sure Damian Lillard would love the defensive reinforcements being brought to him there, with both Ben Simmons and Miles Turner going there in this hypothetical trade, but it's just not something that I think would happen because of all of the other context that needs to be taken into consideration. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the trades proposed today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.